What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. We've got updates today on Kevin De Bruyne's new contract, as well as updates on Jack Grealish and also Erling Haaland. But before I crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, you want to help to support my channel, then do subscribe. It is free. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. I'm aiming for 17,000 subscribers now. We're less than 900 subs away from that goal, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Social media links there in the description below, and also sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video. The like goal for this video is 300 likes, and also, most important, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I'm always interested in what you do have to say with regards to these transfers. So without further ado, let's crack on with this video. And firstly, we've got an update on Kevin De Bruyne's new contract. Now, Fabrizio Romano, a couple of days ago, he was reporting that KDB, he was set for his new contract at Manchester City. He was described it as being a matter of time, and convinced that Kevin De Bruyne will be the next player to sign a new contract at Manchester City. And within the last 24 hours, Kevin De Bruyne, he is here to stay. Signed, sealed, delivered, and confirmed by both player and Manchester City. He signs a new contract at City. It's a 2-year extension on top of his current deal, so he will be at Manchester City until 2025. According to Jack Grealish, he's saying that Kevin De Bruyne's contract is going to be worth more than £300,000 per week, making him one of the highest paid players not only at Manchester City but also in the Premier League as well. Brilliant news. Kevin De Bruyne looks delighted that he's signed a new deal. Of course, De Bruyne rejected City's first opening offer, but seems to have accepted Manchester City's second offer, which is fantastic to see. De Bruyne hasn't had an agent. He's handled all this himself. Very rare to see that, but fair credit to Kevin De Bruyne. He's had a fantastic time whilst he's been at Manchester City, and he's wanting to commit more of his prime years to City. City have De Bruyne out until 2025. Fabrizio Romano has said that Raheem Sterling, he's next up on the priority list at Manchester City. John Stones is also being spoken about, and City wanting to get Phil Foden on a new deal too. No word as of yet on Fernandinho at this moment in time. Now, moving on, we've got an update on Sergio Aguero. Fabrizio Romano's also added up with some comments on him too. But with Aguero, he's going to be leaving Manchester City, if you didn't already know. We have already done a full video explaining the situation about Sergio Aguero. The latest update is his interest from Premier League teams in Sergio Aguero to sign him on a pre-contract agreement. Aguero apparently isn't too keen on staying in the Premier League, so I'm wondering where he's going to possibly end up at. He's been heavily linked with a move to Chelsea. Personally, I can see him I can see him going to Barcelona, with Lionel Messi staying at Barcelona. Apparently being rumoured, it's quite close that Lionel Messi could be signing a new deal at Barcelona. If that's the case, I can see Messi being promised some players to sign. Cheap player, don't have to pay any money for Sergio Aguero, bringing a class striker. He's played in La Liga before. He's played with Lionel Messi all the time. They're really good friends. I can see that one happening. Independent are also being linked with Sergio Aguero over in Argentina as well. Inter Milan's name also being chucked out there. Now, moving on to the out, we've got an update on Liam Delap. Now, Paul Brown has been reporting that Liam Delap apparently is wanted by Real Madrid. I think this is just codswallop in my opinion, but that's been chucked out there. Apparently Liam Delap, though, he's going to be promoted to the Manchester City first team squad next season. He's going to be training with them every single day, so that goes against previous rumours which have suggested that Liam Delap could be heading out on loan instead, and he could be utilised by City's first team squad, which is why comments have recently come out by Pep Guardiola that Manchester City might not sign a striker. I'd be very surprised, though, if by the end of the summer we don't sign an attacker, but the summer is long. I always say that every single year. Now, moving on to our final out story of today's video, comes in the form of Pedro Porro. Now, Ojogo in Portugal have been reporting that Pedro Porro, he's a target for Real Madrid as well this summer, which has forced Sporting Lisbon to activate their clause to make that loan a permanent transfer. The fee is believed to be €8.5 million. Not too sure on how true this is, but I would be very surprised with the season that Pedro Porro is having if he doesn't become a Sporting Lisbon player and they don't take that option to sign him to make him theirs, so they can at least at the very least, make some profit on him if the demand is there, of course. Got a similar situation with Jack Harrison. Man City could make profit on him if Leeds United choose not to take their option to sign him. I can see Leeds United signing Jack Harrison, though, in the summer because he's doing well over there. I'm not sure if they're going to have in mind profit from that or not, but a good quality young player. They're in demand, and if they're having great seasons in these top divisions, then, yeah, you're going to struggle to keep holding them. If you don't take them options to activate your clause to sign them from that loan, then, yeah, the clubs are going to sell them and sell them on for profit. So we'll see what happens with regards to Pedro Porro and also in the future for Jack Harrison. Now, moving on to the ins, new name, Pedro Neto. Now, the Wolves winger, he's been watched by Manchester City scouts. That's according to Duncan Castles on the Transfer Podcast. Manchester City were believed to be scouting Adama Traore at Wolves, and instead were more impressed with Nito, who caught the scouts' eyes. But it is only interest from Manchester City at this moment in time, and nothing more. Now, moving on to another player that we've not mentioned in a little while, and it's a kind of a newish name, comes in the form of Wesley at Palmeiras. We've not really reported on this since the January transfer window, but Jorge Nicola, a journalist in South America, he's put it back out there. He's reporting that the CFG and Palmeiras, they're currently discussing a deal to try and take the 21-year-old forward to the CFG, with Palmeiras wanting the deal to be done for roughly around 12 million euros. I don't reckon this will be a signing for Manchester City, though. I reckon it will be for another club in the CFG. Now, we've got an update on Jack Grealish. Manchester City, they've completely cooled their interest in the Aston Villa man. He's got a bit of a bromance going on with Kevin De Bruyne. Grealish loves tweeting about De Bruyne and how fantastic he is, but in terms of Grealish potentially joining Manchester City, Aston Villa are believed to be asking for around £100 million for him this summer. City have said they won't be paying anywhere near that for any player. That includes Jack Grealish, and because of that, City's interest has cooled. Now, moving on to another player that we've been getting linked with, comes in the form of Nuno Mendes from Sporting Lisbon, the young left-back. Now, Manchester City are believed to be wanting to use their partnership with Lisbon to good use. We will not be paying his release clause, but apparently Manchester City are happy with both Alexander Zinchenko and Benjamin Mendy's performance at left-back, and using João Cancelo there as well. That Record in Portugal have been saying that Mendes, he could be signed by Manchester City this summer. However, Man City are happy to sign him and then loan him for the whole of next season, which I'd be amazed if we're paying a lot of money for him to be utilised by another club. Obviously, he already plays for Sporting Lisbon, so there'd be a year-long transition. Surely it'd have been better for Man City to get some kind of agreement in place for him to join next summer rather than sign him and loan him back, but we'll see. It reminds me of a very similar situation with that Rochdale player, who I'm still not convinced is a Manchester City player, even though we'd signed him and loaned him, and then we haven't signed him, and he isn't a City player, yet he wants to be a City player, and City wants him, yet he isn't a player. Who knows? It's confusing. Like I said, the summer will be long. Now, moving on to our penultimate story, Danny Ings. Now, the Football Insider has been reporting that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, they want to sign Danny Ings. He's stalled on a new deal at Southampton, and so this is a very doable transfer for City. Manchester City, they like his capabilities. They reckon that he'll be happy to be what Aguero wasn't happy to be, which is a rotated player at Manchester City, and City obviously happy with the qualities that Danny Ings does possess, and so certainly a target for Manchester City. And I have no problem with us signing Danny Ings as long as another attacker is brought in alongside him. I think he's got some good qualities there. It'd be a great squad rotation option. However, I'm wanting long-term Sergio Aguero replacement, not being cheap. And if Danny Ings is the only player being brought in, then that's kind of Man City being cheap. And sometimes cheap isn't always best. We need top quality. Moves us nicely onto our last story. Speaking of top quality, Erling Haaland. The game continues. Strap yourselves in. Now, the price, it started at 90 to 100 million pounds that Dortmund were looking for. That was through BILD. Then it has been reported that it was 150 million euros. And then it has been reported by ESPN that they're wanting over 180 million euros, which is now nearly doubled the price that originally was mentioned. Manchester City won't be touching anywhere near that. I've heard 180 million euros kind of a little bit like fake news. It's believed to be that Dortmund are looking for roughly around 150 million euros for Erling Haaland to leave them this summer. The summer of 2022, his release clause will become active and he can leave Dortmund for £65 million. There's a whole host of clubs interested in Erling Haaland at this moment in time. Now, his agent, Raiola, and also his father, former Manchester City man Alfie Haaland, they've been on a little tour to Europe during quite a few lockdowns to try and drum up some interest. They've been to Spain, they've spoken with Laporta at Barcelona, they've also spoken to Perez at Real Madrid as well. They have flown to England, and it's believed that they have spoken to a few English clubs as well. Clubs include Manchester City, Manchester United and Chelsea. Now, Jose Alvarez has been saying that Manchester City have described this deal as being complicated and difficult, which is the word that I've heard on this transfer as well, and Manchester City have been drawing up contingencies because of this. The deal has been described by City as too expensive. We've all seen what Pep Guardiola said about Erling Haaland. Is a signing that cannot be done by Manchester City for the price that Dortmund are wanting, what his agent is wanting, and also what Alfie Haaland, his father, is wanting as well. The transfer is just too expensive. Look at all the losses that all the football clubs have made over the last year whilst we were getting hit by the pandemic, and there is no way that these prices can sustain as being so high as what they are. I spoke last summer about there being the coronavirus market and how that's bringing the price of transfers down. Yet you're speaking Erling Haaland and you're talking like what, second, third most expensive transfer of all time. Just a very expensive transfer to be done. If it is going to be done by any club, it's going to be a club that's got a load of money, and City, they can afford to do it. They're just not going to do it because it just economically doesn't make sense for us to do it. And after all, you do it once, you're going to have to do it every single time. It just isn't how we conduct our business, and from a business sense, it doesn't make sense to do this. So this contingency list that's been drawn up, Harry Kane is going to be another expensive transfer, so I'd probably draw him off. Andre Silva at Frankfurt's been linked as well. Lautaro Martinez is also a player that City are having a good look at. Obviously, we've had Romelu Lukaku previously linked. He's going to be an expensive transfer. João Felix's name isn't going away as well, and Danny Ings is another player that's been mentioned as well. And like I said, I have no problem with Ings signing as long as he'll be one of two attackers brought in, but I'm not sure if that'll happen or not. Personally, though, if Haaland isn't the man to be brought in, unrealistically, I'd like Kylian Mbappe. Apparently, he's available for a similar fee to Haaland, so probably not going to happen, but to me, of equal calibre and capabilities to world-class attacking players. Another player that's been mentioned, I really like João Felix. I think he'd really suit Manchester City's system and how Pep Guardiola likes to play football, and I'd love to see him at City. Just, again, he'd be very expensive, but end of the day, you want to sign world-class strikers, it's going to cost a lot of money. Where is City going to make their move? That remains to be seen. If Dortmund are willing to negotiate and that price does come down, if all them clubs that they've spoke to all say it's too expensive, we're not paying what Dortmund want, then I can see Dortmund maybe negotiating that price down. But if there's any club out there that's going to say they'll pay it, then they could well get Haaland this summer. That could include anyone like PSG, Manchester United, even Chelsea as well. Can we afford to miss out on Haaland? It's a big transfer. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. So there we go. That has been the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed this video. Remember, like goal, 300 likes, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also to leave your thoughts in the comments below of what you made of these transfers. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. 17k subscribers, that is the new aim. We're less than 900 subs now away from that goal. And also don't forget my social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. And that's been the video. Thank you everyone for watching. I do hope that everyone is safe and well. I've been JSGC. Peace. Ciao for now.